Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. How are we all doing? Off the underside, I'm back with another episode here because I want to talk about the enthralling encounter today between Celtic and Rangers at Ibrox. It was literally a game of two halves, and you might be quite a lot of football cliches here because I said in my video earlier that it was men against boys in the first half, and it literally was. Um, Celtic were second in every department. Rangers were outstanding in every department. I done a video at half time saying that Celtic were shocking and stuff, and then I was getting abuse of Celtic fans at the end saying, "Ha ha, what happened to your team now?" and stuff. And I'm like, hold on, I'm a Celtic fan. I was literally just telling the truth. We were shocking the first half, absolutely shocking. Um, we couldn't get near Rangers. Oxley Chamberlain, the game just passed them by. I don't know whether it's just fitness or whatever with the guy, but it was unfortunate. He just was very, very poor. Rio Hatate changed the game. But let's get to the first half. When I seen the teams, I thought it was going to be quite a lot of goals because it was two quite attacking teams, particularly Rangers playing the two up front, playing the Derry and Chermiti. Obviously, Chermiti has got a very good record against Celtic now. You know, he likes scoring goals. He gets in behind. Um, he scored a couple at Celtic Park a few months ago in Wilfred Nonce's last act as Celtic manager. But yeah, today again, Rangers started off excellent. They were a better team for large parts of the first half. After 8 minutes, Chermiti scores an absolute wonder goal. People were saying, you know, is that the best Old Firm goal you've ever seen? Listen, it's right up there. It's definitely in the top five. I mean, but Henrik Larsson's chip will still always be one of the best goals I've ever seen. Never mind one of the best Old Firm goals I've ever seen. I mean, there's been some absolute belters in the past. I remember Jonas Terns at Ibrox for Rangers, Bert Kortnermans at Hampden for Rangers. Henrik Larsson scored a number of wonder goals for Celtic, but there's just been loads and loads of goals. I think Chermiti might actually be two or three for me, to be honest. But I do think that Larsson's chip was number one, and I don't think that's been biased. I think, you know, I just think that's one of the best goals I've ever seen, to be honest, Larsson's. So, I mean, but take nothing away from Chermiti, it was absolutely outstanding, you know, to even think about going up there. It was not as good, but very similar to McTominay's against Denmark for Scotland. But it wasn't quite as good as that, in my opinion. But to even try it, it shows that the guy's got real ability. He's not really done it in a Rangers jersey apart from against Celtic, to be honest. I know he's got a couple against Hearts the other week there. Scored a hat trick, actually, wasn't it? But, you know, he's a very, very good player, obviously. £9 million Rangers spent on him, but it took him a while to get going. But you can't deny the guy is scoring some real important goals and big goals for Rangers at this moment in time. And then the second goal was, from a Celtic point of view, again, just calamitous. You know, the ball comes in, Dane Murray. We spoke about in the live the other day, me and Corey, is Dane Murray maybe going to be a player for Celtic after his performance on Thursday night? Was he just young and learning and stuff like that? But then again today, all he has to do is clear his lines. He completely miskicks it, not for the first time in a Celtic jersey. And, you know, the ball goes in behind. Arajo as well, though, should deal with it. He should just clear his lines at that point, get in front of Chermiti, but Chermiti puts that long leg out, gets the ball, and then slots it underneath Sinisalo's. So, I mean, Rangers were cruising at that point, and honestly, like I said earlier, I done a video at half time thinking there was no way Celtic are getting back into this. And I was totally believing that, you know. I was just like, I suppose I'll watch the second half here because, you know, you never know what could happen. But Celtic came out excellent. Rangers came out the second half, sorry, and I thought it was going to be very similar to the first because the first 2, 3, 5, 4, 5 minutes, Rangers were dominating again. They got an early corner, and I was like, oh no, is this going to be another great half for Rangers? Because the first half, I thought Mikey Moore in particular and Chermiti were both outstanding. Like I say, though, they all were, but that Romans on the left-hand side looks really, really good for Rangers, and they do have a lot of positive Rangers are going about them and stuff. So that's why I thought, you know, the second half, the way Celtic were playing, the way Rangers were playing, I thought there's only going to be one winner here. This is going to be 3, 4, 5 if we're no careful, you know what I mean? And I'm sure every other Celtic fan was worried about that and thinking that you will get the odd Celtic fan to go, I believe we could come out and do it, and fair enough, do you know what I mean? But for me personally, I was really, really fearing the worst. I just didn't know how Celtic could possibly come back for that, you know, like up their game so much to actually even get a result. But they did, do you know what I mean? But anyway, like I said, Rangers came out in the second half, and you're thinking it's more of this. But then Celtic started to dominate more and more. They started to get their foot in the ball. Callum McGregor started to dominate the play a wee bit, I thought. Rio Hatate coming on. I mean, I've been a big critic of Rio Hatate, as everybody knows who watches any of your stuff on that. I have not been a fan of Rio Hatate for a long time. Um, but then today he turns up. He was outstanding. Everything he touched was excellent. He was spreading the play, which was really vital for Celtic. We needed to get down the wings and stuff. I thought Tenecti, when he came on, was excellent. Yang did okay in the second half. I didn't really rate Adamu in the first half for Celtic. I didn't think that he was often enough. Like I say, I just don't really think Adamu and Fianchara are often enough for Celtic. But none of them came on today. Sorry, Fianchara didn't come on today. So Dyson Maida had chances. I mean, yeah, again, Dyson just not got the technical ability to do these things. He runs about honestly daft, and you cannot take away the guy's commitment. He loves running. He loves attacking. He loves, trying to go at players and stuff like that. But his technical ability, there's a good few times today. If he had any technical ability, man, he'd have been in and goal, and he'd be scoring a few goals. That one where in the second half the ball comes over and he heads it, and it's right at Butland. I mean, a decent top striker puts that in one of the corners away. But anyway, like I say, Celtic were dominating the second half for large periods, and then they get the goal. Kieran Tierney heads it in, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, Celtic have actually got a chance to get back into this, particularly the way they're playing. I mean, I thought everybody was good in the second half for Celtic. Nygren was doing really well. He was putting good passes through. I did think Tenecti gave Stelling a lot more problems than Maida did on the left-hand side. And Maida was more effective through the middle, to be honest, than he was on the wing. So yes, Celtic caused Rangers a lot of problems. From a Rangers point of view, you've got to be thinking, how is it the Celtic have done this? How have Celtic get back into this so much? Why have they dropped off so much? Why are Rangers not creating half the amount of chances they did in the first half? It was like a complete capitulation for Rangers. They totally dropped off for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. I mean, like I say, they dominated the first half, and then to commit the second half and be dominated is just crazy, man. I don't really understand how that happened. I don't understand why they allowed Celtic so much time in the ball when you're 2-0 up and you're comfortable, and the fans are buoyant and they're right up for the game, and they think that this is going to be a real doing. Do you know what I mean? But it just didn't work out that way. Celtic got themselves back into it. Kieran Tierney, like I say, scores a header. And then as the game goes on and on, you're expecting Celtic to equalise, to be honest. I was like, we've got a right good chance at equalising here. Like I say, Maida's header, Hatate had a chance just at the edge of the box. There was a free kick for Nygren that he hit right at the wall. There was just several chances. Hatate had another shot that Butland put on the side. And then eventually, in the last few minutes of the match, the ball comes in, Dyson Maida gets his head in it, and I was going to say Raheem Sterling, John Sterling gets up, and he handballs it, and it hits off Jack Butland's face. And I was thinking, the commentators were the same, well, what a save that is. But then John Beaton, the referee, says, right, no, wait the now, and it showed you the replay. Now, I just cannot for the life of me, understand why there's some Rangers fans out there saying that's not a penalty. I mean, it's the most clear penalty you've ever seen in your life. His arm's up, for starters. Right now, people say it's in a natural position. That's no natural position, having your arm up, right? You can jump like that with your arms down. You can do it, you know what I mean? So, I mean, for me, it's a clear penalty. I know it was close to Maida's head, hitting his head between the ball and Sterling's arm, but it was going in the back of the net. And so you cannot be letting players away with that. That's a stone wall penalty, man. Stone wall. I don't even understand Rangers fans kind of like, oh no, never. I mean, I was listening to a Rangers podcast earlier, and they were saying, oh, I really don't get the rules. I don't understand how that's a penalty. And I'm like, well, his arm was up in an unnatural position. It hits his arm. It was going in the net. Is that a penalty? And if it wasn't given, there would have to be serious questions asked of the officiating. Although the officiating has been shocking, as we know, in this country for a long time. But I mean, if I would be openly honest, if I was a Rangers fan, if that was the other side, if that was down the other end, I'd have been saying that's a penalty, Rangers, 100%. If that's Dane Murray with his like that, I'd be saying that's just stupid. You know what I mean? But there is going to be some Rangers fans that argue the point, whereas they shouldn't, man. Just admit it's a penalty. But anyway, Rio Hatate, who again I'm no confident in. Even when he was stepping up, I thought he had a really good second half, but I thought, oh no, Rio Hatate here, man. He's missed penalties in the past for Celtic. He's not got the best composure in the world. He's not the world's best finisher. And exactly that. To be fair, he hits a no okay penalty, but to be fair to Jack Butland gets down really, really well, makes a decent save, it comes back out. Rio Hatate hits it again. Jack Butland gets down again and saves it, and then eventually a third attempt, Rio Hatate sticks it in the back of the net alongside Dies and Maida. But I mean, Celtic go very, very lucky with that one. I'll be honest. I mean, it should have been a better penalty than that. Hatate's just no the man for me. He's going to start the next match. You know, he'll start in Pittodrie on Wednesday, and he shouldn't. I mean, because the problem with Hatate is you'll get one good game at him in 10. You know what I mean? And I feel that on Wednesday night he'll sell the jerseys again. So I would just I would stick with Oxley Chamberlain and give Oxley Chamberlain our game, to be honest, get his fitness up again. Give McGregor. I'd start with the same team probably as that started today. But in fact, no, I probably wouldn't. I'd play Tenecti instead of Maida on the left, and I'd play Iheanacho if Iheanacho's fit. But obviously Iheanacho isn't fit because he's not getting any game time whatsoever right now. But aye, it was just a mental game. You know what I mean? End to end stuff at times. From a Celtic point of view, I wanted to win. I did believe that Celtic could go there and win, but after the first half performance and then eventually getting a draw, I suppose I'm pretty happy. Rangers' point of view, they've got to be delighted with the first half and absolutely gutted with the second half. So I mixed emotions for both clubs. The only team that won the day, in my opinion, the only team that get anything out of this today was Hearts. Hearts are now 6 points clear of Rangers. They are 8 points clear of Celtic. If Celtic win on Wednesday night against Aberdeen at Pittodrie, which is going to be a tough game, even though Aberdeen aren't playing great. I mean, they didn't even get one single shot against Hearts yesterday. It's still going to be probably a tough game going to Pittodrie and get up there on a Wednesday night. But if Celtic win that match, it'll get into 5 points and then it's all to play for. I do believe that the title race is not over. I do believe that Hearts are the strong favourites to win this league. I think they've got it all for them. I think that they've got it all to lose. You know, it's in their hands now. But the pressure may tell on Hearts. They've still got to play Motherwell, they've still got to play Celtic, and there's other games that Hearts may lose and drop points in. So we'll see what happens. It's not over yet. I genuinely believe it will probably go down to the last day of the season. If I'm being honest, I think it's going to go down to the wire. I think there will be points dropped from Hearts. I think there probably points dropped from Celtic and Rangers as well. So at the end of the day, this game today was just another example of Scottish football being totally and utterly unpredictable this season. But aye, let me know what you think in the comments and all that stuff. Subscribe to the channel, all that, so that I can give more videos like this and we can keep getting out content like this and all the other stuff that comes with it. But aye, thanks for watching. All the best.